Hello everyone and welcome back to our Ghost of Tsushima playthrough. You're joining me, Ricky, and with me is Aaron.
Konnichiwa. Yokoso.
We've got a little bit of a different one for you guys this time. Unfortunately, I fucked up my audio when we recorded this episode. I moved my mic, it unplugged itself, and unfortunately it didn't capture anything I said for the entire episode. So instead, because we didn't discover this until we went to edit it, a little while later, we are just going to do a bit of a commentary narration over our footage. We have it was a couple of weeks ago we recorded this, but we have an idea of what was happening. So we'll do our best to comment on our thought processes and what was going on. Aaron was playing at the time.
Yes.
But otherwise, we're just gonna talk over what's going on as best we can. Unfortunately, with how it turned out, dubbing back in or anything like that wasn't really gonna be possible. So bear with us for one episode. Unfortunately, this is how it'd have to be.
Yeah, well, I think it could still be very entertaining. We're, gonna watch it like a lot of other people, I suppose, and give our comments. And, yeah, probably spot things that we didn't before and be able to comment on them as we go, rather than sort of talking to each other afterwards, after the edit, going, oh, how did we miss that? Or, oh, that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys will be able to see sort of our reactions to some stuff we do as well.
Yes. And from memory here, we're doing a little bit of a warm-up and
Yeah.
Talking over some random crap before we actually get into the episode. So hopefully it's not too much longer before we go up and decide to give this bit of bamboo the old business.
But this is just after we've talked to the monk and captured the tower. So at this point, we sort of just we saw that this was here, the bamboo cutting, and so we came down to sort of start the video here and use it before continuing on. So.
Yes, in the last episode, we went with Lord Shimura to capture back that outpost or whatever it was with the lighthouse or, the watchtower in there. And then Yuna came along and saved our asses because the Mongols were riding a cart full of explosives at us.
Yeah, she just took them out one shot. Hey, look, I'm jumping.
Here we go. We're testing out the controller.
Yeah.
Giving the old wiggly waggly woo. We're trying to find the angle. This is where we're trying to find this starting angle.
I think we're actually checking to make sure it was still in sync as well.
Yes. We have a decent capture device, but it sometimes lags out if I forget to reset it. I keep it plugged in basically 24/7.
Yeah.
So sometimes it needs a restart. So we were making sure that everything was synced. Oh, and here we go.
Yeah, we started now. So
3 bamboo.
Now I'm trying to remember. I think if I'm correct, if I remember this correctly, I was doing really badly. Or was I?
The next one, I'm pretty. You struggle a bit here.
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, Aaron. Show that samurai spirit. There's you really taking in the button combination.
Yeah. Try that.
And you still miss.
Oh,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened
there either.
The pressure's getting to you at that point. Come on, here we go. Poised for victory.
No, I do remember this. This is just like I just get fat. There you go.
Oh! Come on, this is it. Oh, so close. No. It's that last L1 that's getting you.
Clearly.
That last L1. You must be like accidentally double tapping or triple tapping triangle.
Yeah. I think I do remember saying like when we were doing this, like, well,
hey.
Yeah, and I think at this point I was like, yep, all in the first go, nothing happened. Gonna edit that right out.
Yeah, we'll just cut that out. All right, there we go. We did get a resolve increase, which is always very handy in this game. Yep. Seeing it as your healing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which, we have touched on before, but I really enjoy the fact that, it's just that you just knuckle down. It's just that grit to keep going kind of thing that you get in those sort of samurai films and other sort of like action hero films.
It's definitely, and it's sort of leaked into like the manga and anime and that in Japan as well.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Whole, they're almost defeated, but no, they just won't give up. And it's usually like the power of friendship that does it or something. But
it's usually friendship or love.
But in a little bit more of the serious ones, it's usually like they just like dig deep and manage to find it.
Yeah, that's it.
But a lot of action movies in that do it as well. Western action movies, like the heroes
Plenty.
being beaten and they just get back up,
keep going.
Like, it's like, dude,
Die Hard.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of Die Hard. Actually.
Well, there were a lot of films. Just quickly, we are currently looking over the map. Yeah. And we're deciding that before we continue to the next island, we're actually going to have a go at clearing out some of these conquered camps on this island. So we wanted to finish up a little bit here before we moved to the next island fully. But no, a lot of old action films, the stars were next to, invulnerable. If they did get shot, much like was made fun of in, Last Action Hero, it's always just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. You stop being a baby. Oh, that's right. The old Straw Hat Camp.
So there are
freaking Ryuzu.
Yeah.
But Die Hard changed the formula.
Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly to finish my point. It changed the formula. He was vulnerable. Like the whole walking over the glass and everything, like, and he's in there pulling it out of his feet. He gets messed up. Like, I mean, God, one of the times where he manages to take out one of the guys, is Die Hard 1, is by falling down the fucking stairs and the guy lands on his neck, like that's basically luck.
I still find it funny though, because it's like, it's still an action movie, so he's still doing stuff that's like beyond what
absolutely.
But they do make it a little bit more realistic.
It is definitely more realistic rather than the invulnerable soldier of fortune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He takes his licks, he takes his beatings. He's not this big mound of muscle, you know what I mean? He's a pretty average sized guy. He's in shape, but he's not just this muscle bound Arnie or something like that.
Is everything all right?
I remember commenting that Jin is just standing in the fire.
Yeah.
He's just like flexing on this peasant.
Don't worry. I can't be hurt by such things. Yeah, this guy's just telling us about the birds again, which we've come across before.
Yeah, we've come across them.
But no,
I'd be worried about Jin's sperm. It's getting really hot there. Sorry.
He's beyond such things. No, I was gonna say again with like Die Hard list. What's funny is though that the whole like muscle-bound action hero, it only really started a few years before Die Hard. Like we think of it as such a trope now.
It is true.
But it was only like in the decade before that it really started. Beforehand, like action heroes, for the most part, were more normal people. Like they were handsome and sort of athletic, but they weren't really like. I think Arnie was pointed out when he was saying when he came to be an actor to begin with. Like, people were like, oh, no, you can't be a main character. Yeah. No one wants to see a huge muscled guy as the main character type thing.
Like it would kind of make them feel insecure.
Yeah.
People looked up to it.
Yeah, and then it took off.
Exactly.
But what I find funny is that it then sort of comes full circle again when like they don't want huge bodybuilders being the main actors anymore, because what happens is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he's big guy, big muscly, but when he got into acting, you'll notice that initially he actually slims down a bit, and the reason is because a lot of people told him, oh no one's going to hire you as the main character if you're too big. And
exactly.
Eventually, he was like, I'll stuff that, and nowadays, we have all sorts of people across the board. But yeah, I think in part he was one of the few people as well that sort of stepped up again and said, no, Arnie and that did it, and I think I can do it as well. And they brought it back, that whole, you can be muscular.
Well, the funny thing about The Rock, right, is I was a big fan of WWE, WWF when I was a kid. And obviously The Rock was huge in the Attitude Era. He was the face of everything. Yeah.
Just there, that they are dead bodies I was shooting an arrow at. I actually thought they were dogs sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. You thought it was
Ricky
a predator.
at the time did realize they were dead bodies, and so he was kind of confused.
I was like, come on, man. Like, your countrymen are already there dead and charred, and you're just like using them as pin cushions. Yeah. But The Rock, he was not actually anywhere near as muscular or lean as he is now in his WWF days.
No.
Go back and look at The Rock back when he used to have one of those little carrot top hair. Like, he used to have a little carrot hairdo. Still a decently sized guy. He would be strong and he's somewhat muscular, but he had a like, not much, but he didn't have a defined six pack, and he didn't have big pecs or hugely defined biceps or anything like that. Still in better shape than many people, don't get me wrong, but he was not the chiseled out guy he is now. And when he started, that was it. He lost a little bit of weight to actually slim a bit. And then after there, it was about building the muscle, because he actually wasn't a huge guy as a wrestler. Not in that sort of muscle-bound Greek god sort of way,
exactly. I think, after it did become like he wanted to focus on building his muscle and being in shape of what he wanted rather than what other people wanted. And that's why he's how he is now. And, good for him. And I think that's just for everyone. Like, you want to be healthy and fit, but you want to be at the same time be happy with yourself. This here we're doing a sort of like a rescue mission for this town. So this is a farmland area that we've come to rescue, and we've got to rescue the villagers without them being killed. So I don't think I succeed the first time.
Three hostages need to be rescued, and you need to damage 3 enemies with sticky bombs. So that may be optional.
I think that one is optional, yeah.
But I do remember saying when we were coming up, telling you to that you'll probably have to be sneaky, and then you just threw a sticky bomb on that guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right. He got shanked there.
And it failed, and then I think the next time I succeed. No, I remember, like, because you saw that the optional was like to kill 3 people with sticky bombs, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. And you're like, oh, you'll have to get go ahead and get 2 with 1. And I'm thinking, oh, he just wants me to try and get 2 people with 1. Okay. Not realizing that I only had 2 sticky bombs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, you have to get all the guys like to come together, sort of thing.
All right.
But no, it is funny, like, just continuing on that, how action films have changed. It was always for quite a while, there was usually one pretty predominant trope. And as you're saying, how long they lasted varied. But there was always, usually one pretty predominant trope. Oh, that did the trick.
I like that it doesn't hurt the village raiders, because I was worried when I did that. but
these days, there's quite a lot of options,
Yeah, exactly. They don't. They sort of find the type of hero they want and then work around that.
Because there's an audience for all the types.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Woo! Yeah, exactly. So I mean, one that is becoming a lot more common these days is the heroine. The female hero kind of thing.
Yeah, they're certainly putting women into the spotlight of being tougher and able to, rather than just being, I guess, a spy or something. It's like, no, they're really brutal as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, different strokes, different folks. I'm trying to approach this in a way that won't come off too wrong. But I think sometimes what they need to do is they need to craft it a little bit better, because I think there's a certain physical reality that gets ignored in a lot of these films. Now, if you're a superhero with a powered suit, or
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you got some type of super serum or whatever, go fucking nuts. But I do find it a little bit funny when you're watching one and it's just someone who's like, no, I've just got some military combat experience. And then they kick like a 6'5" guy through a wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You would not be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like 99.9% of men wouldn't be able to do that. Like,
no, exactly. And look, I agree with you. I feel like that if you're going to make an action hero that doesn't have superpowers or something like that, that's a female, I feel like you need to like really think like, what would they be
about
good
the
at?
character?
How would they work?
Yeah.
How would they be? How would they take on this situation? Things like that. Not just do the same thing as like a really muscled dude and just like charge in there and break people's necks and backs and that. It's like I don't think that's really how that would work.
What?
But you know that the thing is though, you see that in some movies that when it's men, they don't do the whole just go in there. Like John Wick is a good situation where he is an awesome fighter, but he takes damage and shit. Like, and you know, he's got skill behind him, and that's how he's doing it most of the time. Even though he is, you know, a bigger man than some of the other people he fights. And I think that's all the approach they should take more with female action heroes.
Well, no, yeah. So my big problem with that sort of thing is that it just feels lazy. It's like, oh, we're just going to write a generic action film and we're just going to insert a female character. So they have the usual tropes play out. But with someone that's severely undersized, it would be the same as if you did it and put some 5'6" guy who weighs like, you know, 55 kilos in there doing it. It doesn't make sense either. You know what I mean? You got to craft it around the character a little bit more. And it just seems like laziness to write a generic Arnie action film with that stuff happening and then put in a little dainty lady and expect everyone to just accept that. It's like you lose that suspension of disbelief. You know what I mean? It's like sort of taking me out of it. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's and look, it's not like people haven't done it before. I'm not actually sure.
No, they're
here. Oh, that's right. You commented that you thought his head was orange. So we went to that look
I thought he was a ginger.
Like, one of the I think the icons of action films in showing, like someone that's got skill but they can still be overwhelmed by people is Jackie Chan, and because Jackie Chan, he's awesome. He's got skills. He can fight, but he is not a giant of muscle and everything. Like, he relies on skill and that,
and the environment.
He still gets hurt. Like, he was one of the really early action heroes that actually got hurt. Like, you know,
he got the shit kicked out of him,
and he'd get beaten, and he has to use the environment and things like that. And that's how I think that they should do a lot of female action heroes a lot more. Not necessarily getting hurt more, and that's also where I think some stuff comes into play a bit. People are more willing to watch a man get hurt, but if a woman starts getting hurt, people are like,
especially if you're getting beaten on by men. People don't like that imagery, so they generally try and avoid it. But that's it. But you can have it without them needing to
using the environment
be up against
more,
ridiculous,
you know, weapons more, you know, skill more, that sort of stuff, rather than just going in there and just being like, oh yeah, no, I can kick you and break your arm and that. And especially when they're like fighting other people that are supposedly also like skilled in something.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, I can think of a couple of examples where I felt like it was a little bit ham-fisted off the top of my head, and one would be probably like, I don't know if you've seen the new Falcon Winter Soldier show.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No,
well, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil anything, but there a side female character at one point, and up against a bunch of men, and it's just crazy as she's just like kicking people, you know, and she's got nothing special going on. You know what I mean? And I found that all a little bit And another one is and this is just from, I'm sure there's other examples against this, but just from what I watched, but also the show Supernatural. Yep. What season did you get up to in that?
I'm in the second last season.
Okay, cool. Well, do you remember when the British men of letters come into it?
Oh, yeah.
And you meet the women, right? The guy who plays freaking Sam is like 6'3". You know, Jared Padalecki, and he's a broad guy. He gets kicked through a wall by this fucking dainty little 5'4" woman who looks like she weighs about 50 kilos max. And there's nothing special with her. And then her like, all right, Gav, backup woman, beats an angel up hand to hand, and she is nothing special. It was the most, he could have clicked her out of existence. So it was like they completely ignored all the lore they had established, all the standards and everything they had established, and just had that happen. Because the Supernatural boys, they get the fuck kicked out of them plenty of times, you know? But these ladies handle them 2-on-1, and this other one beats two of them up and an angel with her bare fucking hands. Well, she has some special knuckle dusters, but she shouldn't be able to dodge punches and hit. That's the problem. And she kicks the crap out of an angel, and it's just like, oh my God. It's like, you watch that and you're just like, that's stupid. You could have given them some special fucking angel neutralizing gun or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, she's just like, oh, come at me. I've got one of them British accents, eh? You know? So I must be tough.
I agree. It is sort of just, I feel like lazy writing.
It is lazy writing. That's the problem. The problem is lazy writing.
I will say though that if you did see us get a Kiers award, you probably noticed that we got a Kiers award for saving this village.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, so that key we get is to do with getting a special suit of samurai armor.
Yeah.
And so I think what we found out from this and the next episode that if you want to keep it up on and watch, subscribe, like, ring that little bell.
That's it.
Yeah, we when you clear the camps and clear the farms and save the farms so that the little places get turned back into
functioning villages.
Functioning villages. I think they give you keys that eventually unlocks a legendary armor.
Yes, that's right. You need like 3 or 4 keys or something like that. So we realized that, okay, then, so when we get these, we get more keys and then we can go get some cool armor.
And here is like a little survivors camp. So this is like refugee survivors camp. Outside of a few places, this is actually where you'll find the trappers, which is the guy we're going over here now, who needs like the pelts, the predator hides to upgrade like your arrows, your black powder bombs, your like quick fire, all your little ninja knickknacks and that. So yeah, that's where we saw one after we rescued Lord Shimura, but usually this is where you'll find them in the little like refugee sort of survivor camps and that.
Yeah,
you'll also find other merchants as well.
Yeah, and these guys give you ammo capacity upgrades and things like that.
Thank you.
You can also sell stuff to them, like we just saw there with selling arrows and that for a little bit of like rice or whatever. But it's usually you'll need that stuff, so it's only if you have to.
I like this because this guy, he takes flowers for you to upgrade, well, to buy, cosmetic changes to your armors and things like that. But I just find it kind of funny that he has a bunch of flowers right next to him, you know? He'd be like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I just need some flowers from armor. And you're like, how about these? You know?
What I find funny, though, is if he had picked those, we could not have afforded, because we're about to get a new die here.
Yeah, we literally have 10.
And we have 10, and you need 10. And if he had picked those, like if we had come along and picked those, we would not have enough.
Well, this is why this guy needs flowers, because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's colorblind or something. He's like, I wish, but I can't see him. Everything's just grey.
It's like, you just noticed them about to go there and sort of samurai running towards them. Like, you know what? You can have them.
I know. It's like but that's also the thing. We ball in here. We're like, nice supplies. I'll have them. You know? Oh, I see you got something in here in the bag. I'll have that. And they're just like, you know what? Pretty sure this is that ghost guy. Just let him take it.
Yeah. He deserves something for all the people here.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, to be fair, they should be handing some stuff over. Come on. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to apply our new cosmetic. We weren't too sure. I think I spot it in a second. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Matches our, I think we got it as well because it's nice, but it also matches the sword, so.
Yes, it does, because we have that white and, is it white and blue? Either way, it looks nice with the white.
But yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice with the white of the armor.
Yeah. So, yeah. And we got a white horse too, so it's all pretty good. Plus,
white.
I think I say it in this or in a previous episode, but yeah, white is the color of death in Japan, and that's why you see people wear white to funerals in the like traditional Shinto religion.
I'll go see for myself.
And this guy here is just telling us about a rumor. So it's not an official, it's not an official quest, like other ones. It's but it is a rumor, and so that'll appear. And sort of indicate where to go to sort of do a quest. And so, yeah, that one was talking about a kappa, which is a river demon. But whether it will be an actual river demon, we'll have to wait and see. Or flowers.
Yeah. You know, just not continuing on the same thread, but just in the same ballpark. But, you know, on the action film thing, I do miss the good old kung fu movies, you know what I mean?
I know.
You don't really get the good ones anymore. I feel like the Bourne series came along and ruined, like, you know, martial art action films with that crappy, I'm not a fan, sorry if you are, that crappy, quick cut, shaky camera stuff, because it allows the actors to miss their punches by a country mile. But because they cut the camera at the right moment, it looks like they're hitting them. And then you don't have to teach them good choreography and they don't have to get this precise flow of movement going. It's just one punch cut. Next punch cut, and it all moves so quick and shaky. No one's doing anything exceptional. It looks ridiculous. It's nauseating.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think John Wick has definitely brought back some of it because their choreo is pretty good. They do train a lot with it. But
It's more the guns in John Wick.
But
though.
yeah, John Wick uses a lot of weapons in that too, and to be like a really the idea is to be like this really efficient killer on that. So you don't get that sort of same kung fu you do. Like I love Jackie Chan movies, and
Jackie
Jet
Chan
Li movies,
Jet Li, some Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, those sort of things. And I'd love to see more of them sort of come back into the mainstream. Because they're just they're fun. Even when they're silly, like I watched a Jackie Chan movie, which was it's a B grade movie, but Jackie Chan loves making films, and so it was a B grade movie. The story was a bit odd. It starts off simple, but then like ends up with them on like this sort of spaceship thing, but it's a fun movie, and it has
they're just fun.
And it has one of the best parts to it, where Jackie Chan, who has lost an arm, his arm grows back. He then proceeds to tear out the bad guy's heart. And,
Holy Indiana Jones shit.
And as I said, it's clearly a B-grade movie. But something
There's
about
plenty
Jackie
of those
Chan,
for Jackie Chan. Yep.
Yeah, but
he's always
having
fun.
Jackie Chan. Oh, it's just fun. And don't go by all means. Don't go in it watching it thinking that you're gonna have like this high-end movie with Hollywood things. Just go on with it being a fun action movie with people kicking each other's butts, and that's what it is. And I said it, even though it was so funny and so silly, just watching his arm grow back and then him tear someone's heart out, it was just like, yes, that's what I want sometimes.
No, that's it, because I mean there have been some okay series. The ones that come to mind are Ong Bak was all right, you like a bit of Muay Thai.
Yep.
Ong Bak was quite good. With what was that? What's his name? Tony Jaa? Is it Tony Jaa? No, I might be completely wrong there.
I'm terrible with names, so I can't.
Yeah, no, same. But Ong Bak was good.
Oh,
this
that's
is
where
where you
I
fucked
grenade
yourself
myself.
up with
Yep.
your grenade. I love that, but that's very Jackie Chan actually.
Yeah,
Everybody's
it is.
confused.
I'm lucky I had some kunai though, so
Yeah.
I was like, I could have got out of the situation.
But other than Ong Bak, probably Ip Man. The Ip Man was quite good, Yeah, I thought Ip Man handled it as well. I can't remember if it's it. I think it might be Ip Man 2. It could be 1. He takes on the British boxer Twister.
Yeah, I've always called it IP Man.
IP Man, yeah, it's a brand new IP.
Yeah.
But Ip Man was meant to be one of the people who taught Bruce Lee. What is it? I can't remember the name of the martial arts style. I know he ends up with his own sort of variation or whatever. But what is it, like Wang Chun or something like that? Yeah. Anyway, I'm probably a million miles off on that. But the Ip Man ones were pretty fun, and I thought they handled it quite well because he fights this big British boxer called Twister. And the real fact of the matter is when you have a severe size disadvantage, you're likely just to get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? Skill or not. And Twister was much bigger than Ip Man, and I'm pretty sure he gets his ass kicked at one point by him, and then it's a sort of a later on that he comes back and gets to use his kicks and it evens things up a little bit. But it makes sense that, you can run in and pull your little punch and hit him, but if he weighs 30 kilos more than you and has like 6 inches of height, be prepared for a nasty fucking left hook when you're done. But they were very good and entertaining.
They were good. I mean, like with a lot of martial arts films and that, you've got to realise that, except for a very specific handful, a lot of them do take liberties. Just for entertainment,
absolutely,
like a lot of stuff. But what I did love is that they start out being a lot more serious and more like, oh yes, this is the man that taught Bruce Lee some stuff. And then the later sort of movies, they just make stuff up just because people really enjoyed watching the first one.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't seen Ip Man 4, I think, and I think I saw 3, but I just can't recall it.
Yeah.
But if you want fun, I know it's a few years old now, so it probably doesn't really count for these days. But if you want fun, you can always check out Kung Fu Hustle. I loved Kung Fu Hustle.
That was so funny.
It's got that great anime-esque style.
Yeah, it's literally them going, let's take all of the tropes of Kung Fu movies and then just dial it up.
Exactly.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy.
It is a comedy.
I haven't seen it. I recommend go watch it. It is a comedy Kung Fu movie and it is funny.
It is good, though. It's got really good fight choreography, though. If you like that sort of Kung Fu fight choreography, Then it's got it in spades, and it has that sort of anime-esque thing, which is kind of goofy. It's almost like Looney Tunes meets Jackie Chan, you know?
Yeah.
But it is really good. But no, you're right. It's a lot of it's dialed up to 11 for comedy's sake. Like, you know, the flashback of him as a kid trying to defend, you know, a girl from these mean boys and all this sort of stuff, and they end up just kicking his ass and taking a piss on him. You know, it's like, you wouldn't usually get that in one of those films, but it's that whole, you know, they got beat trying sort of thing, but instead he cops it way worse and gets peed on.
I did pretty good here because I like take out 2 dudes and then I drop a smoke bomb and then assassinate 2. And then,
and you completely fuck him up.
There's a lot of running around with this cat because I literally go in there thinking to try and sneak, you know, not really preparing myself, and then I just wake everyone up and... now that's a finish.
That is a finish. That is a picture-perfect finish. That's the thing, when you finish a fight with Heavenly Strike, it looks so good.
It does. It looks awesome. I think now it's just like we had like 1 or 2 little archers and some stragglers.
Yeah, but there's some stragglers, and from memory, then it's more us trying to figure out what to do. We didn't mention it when it came up. You have to I think capture back some banners. You have to find the stolen metal that we just picked up there. Yeah, recover 3 banners and find 2 lots of stolen iron. So at this point, there might be a couple left, but now we're really just looking for those things.
I think this is the point where I'm about to like scare off all the horses.
Yeah, that's right. You throw your thing down and it freaks them all out.
Because I think when we come back later, most of them are gone.
Yeah, they're just like fucked off. But in a similar vein to all that, I've been considering rewatching a bunch of the. Oh no, there's still some guys over here.
Yeah, that's right. Because we came across and these guys at this gate just apparently had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, I know. Apparently they didn't hear a thing. And they're like, oh, God, the guys over at the South Gate are getting raucous again. Yeah.
They sound like they're having fun.
No party like a
Judy.
Mongol party. But I've been considering like rewatching some of those. What's that genre called? Is it chop suey? You know, that sort of like, like that Hong Kong cinema, like Chung Young Fat, and I'm probably butchering names right now. This is why I need to rewatch them. You know, but they're often like renegade or undercover cops, you know, and it's like it's got a lot of like guns and kung fu and games like Max Payne were inspired by it, you know, with like the jumping through the air and boo shooting and all that shit. I want to watch some of those again.
And I mean, I've got to admit, I like on Netflix and that, like I'll from time to time watch like the Korean or Chinese and that like TV shows because like they'll have stuff not as like full on as that, but they'll still sort of try and they'll have a little bit more in it, with like that sort of action kung fu style. But again, like I mean, Jackie Chan's just one of the biggest stars, so it's easy to sort of call him out. But yeah, Police Story with Jackie Chan, one of my favorite.
Oh yeah,
movies.
Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
so
good.
That's right.
That guy fucked you up.
And we heard him, and you're like, "Yep, you're about to get knocked out."
Yeah, because we heard his we heard him shout. Oh, this guy puts up a fight. But no, there's so many of those. You know, that's it. Need to go back through and watch them. We should try and watch them, and then we'll have like together, and then we'll have like stuff to talk about. You know, if we both watched them. But if you guys, you know, if anyone watching, you haven't seen those sorts of films, you know, because, you know, maybe they're a little after your time or whatever. They're very much 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Check them out. I mean, and there's some funny little crossover ones as well. Like there was that weird thing happening in the early 2000s where they're basically like, all right, what we're thinking is Jet Li, right? Corrupt cops and a rapper. You know, and it's like DMX or, you know, and they just like pair up Jet Li with like some
Alicia
rapper.
Keys does an amazing song for that movie.
Oh yeah, fucking Romeo Must Die and stuff. But yeah, but there's like I can't even remember, but you got like Bulletproof Monk, Sean William Scott. You've got, what's the one with DMX? Is that Romeo Must Die? Is that DMX? Oh, I can't remember. But one of DMX's like notable songs comes from that as well. But yeah, they basically would just pair Jet Li up with the most unlikely sidekick, and you just end up with these. You wouldn't call them great films.
I know. I'm remembering the film. No, Romeo Must Die is Alicia Keys had that song. I can't remember, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about with DMX.
Oh no, Romeo Must Die was the girl who ended up like dying in like a plane crash. You know. Oh, what's her name? Like Aaliyah or something?
Yeah, no, I think she was the actress, like person.
She has a song for it as well. She has a song for it as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her. You know, where she's like,
could be.
I can't remember it. This is like 2000 old. But I remember the thing from Romeo.
Keys, maybe I'm confusing.
No, it's not. I don't think it's Alicia Keys. I think
maybe
it's,
it is her I'm thinking of, and Alicia Keys' name just came to my head. I'm not. I'm not good with names.
It was a pop. It was like a pop artist.
A pop, yeah.
And I'm quite sure she unfortunately passed away. I could be wrong there. Yeah, we'd have to look that up. I really can't remember. It's going back a while now, like 2 decades. But I remember Romeo Must Die. The big thing about that was, he'd like kick someone and it would do this like X-ray thing, and you'd see their bones break, and stuff like that. And then like the modern Mortal Kombat games do. They just stole that from Romeo Must Die, which maybe stole that for something else. I wouldn't know.
If you're wondering what we're doing here, everyone, we're looting the camp for and also looking for the second set of supplies. I do mention, obviously. We're not. I'll mention now because, but at the time I mentioned that I recommend looting the camp just in case, because I can't remember because you essentially have to burn the camp down as the final thing. I can't remember if that leaves all the goods or only some of the goods in that. So I recommend just going through the camp and just like looting the place before you burn it down, just to make sure.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah, but what we're also doing is trying to find the last supply of metal, and we just can't find it. Like,
we get lost.
We just continue to go around because that's where the first one was. But so far we haven't walked past it, I don't think yet. But it's in sort of the direction we're facing now, to the side around. But yeah, we just go around and we take the time to loot the place, and then just try and figure out where the hell the metal is.
At this point, I think we're lost. I think we've done a lot of the looting and we are lost.
I think at this point, this is, as you see, we're sort of just like going around. This is where we're starting to wonder, like, is it outside?
Yeah, have we? Where could it be? This is where we peek outside to make sure. We're like, nah, no way.
And this is where we find out the horses all buggered off.
Yeah. But anyone watching, if there are modern kung fu films and stuff like that still have that flavor and we just are unaware of them, let us know.
Martial art movies in general does have to be. Yeah, I said, like, I want to go back and watch some of the Japanese ones as well. I think that's a genre as well. I think it needs to come back again. Like, there's been samurai movies, but they've all been very westernized.
Fully.
In it, so it's been a bit, hit and miss. And annoyingly, I find that a lot of the Japanese stuff that they put on Netflix and that nowadays, which annoys me, is that it's mainly like anime or like really like anime-ish type stuff. So they don't do more of the serious thing. Where at the very least with Korea and China, they do try and put more like martial arts or cop movies and TV series and things like that as well. So I think here we walk on the opposite side of where the supplies actually are. So we've missed it because where there was that divider over there. I think that's where we're just going to be lost for a little while here. Yeah, here we are. Me
looking. We're like, is this the camp? Is this really it?
Yeah, is this really it? Is this?
Like, it's gone night time.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were also so we see it here now, as you can see, it appeared there, so we pick it up. But when we were going around, we're like, why is it not showing us where it is? Like, why can't we find it? And once we look into the map and then come back out again, it appears. So yeah.
I think there's a small chance we may have just never looked in its direction as well.
Could be, but usually you can see
it. Yeah, you can usually see it through.
So it's but we found it.
And now we're igniting this to get rid of, to burn the camp down.
Yep.
Because this isn't something that they took over. This is one of those camps they knocked up. Yeah. So we don't need to reclaim it. We want to get rid of it.
And we just added the one torch just to make sure.
So, that's how it used to be. You'd rock up, you would, or if you could get the local populace to through slavery, would just log a whole bunch of the forest and build yourself these sorts of encampments. I mean, it's what the barbarians did to deal with the Romans and that. You know, they just come in, just shove up a camp, you know, and they could just do it so quick and many of them, and then down they came and fucked them up.
The only reason that the Romans didn't, the Roman armies and that didn't do it as much, like they did have slaves and everything, was just because like their soldiers themselves were just so much faster. Like they were so professional at doing it that they were so much faster at setting up their own bases. So it's like, slaves, nah, we'll do it faster.
Yeah.
But here we are, we've burned it down. As you can see, I'm just going over to sort of to see if there is anything sticking out, because as I said, I'm not sure what supplies would be left over after you burn it. So yeah, this is me just sort of going through, seeing if anything sticks out, but we can't really see anything, so yeah. And looks like...
Well, because we should have got a technique
points.
point. We got a technique point from finishing that mission. I'm quite sure.
So we've got 2 points to spend. I actually can't remember what we got them. What we used
No. Well, you and I often go for very different things. I usually pick the stuff that allows me to parry and stuff like that. But I know you're more after like the movement. Yeah, that's right. You're after more the movement and you know, like accessories, bombs and stuff.
I was tempted to get the chain sneak kill because that is really cool, but I don't think I went for it. I think I went for something else, but
yeah, I can't recall. We'll be just as surprised as you, viewer.
Yeah. Place your bets now.
Yeah, that's it. This is intense.
What? Oh, was it over invasion?
Do you? Yeah, I think you get something from evasion.
Yeah, because I think there might be something in the evasion tree I wanted to aim for.
Yeah, I think you did eventually want to aim for something in there, so you started to go down there. Because yeah, I'm the one who does deflection. I mean, that does look like a pretty decent one.
Delayed strikes is pretty cool.
Mounted strike.
Now the thing, like this mounted strike is like, it's really cool. But we have done something similar before, but I think it's more of like an assassination thing.
Oh, is it perfect dodge?
I think that's what we wanted. Perfect dodge. Yeah. I wanted to get the perfect dodge because
you can end up doing that chain stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we do get shoulder charge at this point.
Yeah, we get probably because that would be the quickest way down the tree. Yeah, there it is. Shoulder charge.
And yep,
boom.
There we are.
There we go. So now next was Azamo Bay, and we have a quest along the way.
Yep, and
so we're already getting through a bit. You know, we've cleared out these through up here and the fishing village and that. So it's obviously still a few more, but yeah, I remember Azamo Bay was something we were aiming for.
I think this is probably where
we're about to wrap it up. Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I hope that you still enjoyed it and enjoyed our conversation and sort of this game in the background because, yeah, it's a bit of a different from what we normally do, but hopefully everyone still had a bit of fun watching it. So,
I mean, if you've ever watched any of those old films we're talking about, hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Brought back some memories.
Do comment in the comments if you did watch any of them or if there's any really cool movies, martial arts movies, samurai movies, things like that you think we should watch. As Ricky said, comment on there too. We'd more than have a look.
Otherwise,
there we are. It's been to be continued.
To be continued. We will see you guys in the next one where the audio is fixed.
Yes. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.